It's aliens and they're living in your town. Damn. They have arrived. What? They're all around. So many aliens living in your town. Are you scared of aliens?
What up, weirdos out there in Weirdo Land? We're back.
We're back.
Yeah.
I missed that song.
It's the new podcast, the first one of the year. And we've got a producer, Denny's, a Ryan Beckett, and a Vicky here. How the hell is everybody doing?
Good. You ain't lying.
Right? Oh, boy, he's back.
The team is back.
So this is the first one. Let us know if there are any technical difficulties. There could be some bumps in the road, but let's get right into it. First of all, happy National Chili Day.
Oh, is it Chili Day?
It's National Chili Day. Now, do we like chili?
Yeah.
I used to be obsessed with chili, but since I'm plant-based now, I have this plant-based chili I eat now.
Sounds great.
Really, you were obsessed with chili at one point.
Oh, yeah. Skyline chili spaghetti out of Cincinnati it's the balls.
I love chili.
Chili's delicious.
Yeah, it's great.
Vicky, you look like you hate it.
No, I like chili, and it's good for leftovers. You can take it for lunch the next day, so very practical.
The next day, when you heat it up in the Tupperware, you can dip bread in it. It breathes new life into it.
It's also it's some kind of cocktail day, margarita. And what are our thoughts on these holidays that are goofy, but there's multiples? I feel like there's enough days to kind of...
It's straight capitalism. It's just a way to like spur spending on those specific things. What they call a Hallmark holiday.
Do you hate Valentine's Day, Beckett?
It depends what my situation is.
Oh, man.
I mean, if you're in a great, awesome relationship, it's fantastic. If you're single, you're kind of depressed. If you're newly dating and you have a couple people you're dating, then it's confusing.
You don't hate the concept of it. You just hate if you were in a situation where you can't really celebrate it.
That's correct. I mean, it's probably, to be fair, to go against my own statement, it is definitely the quintessence of a Hallmark holiday. But I think it's good to acknowledge your significant other. It's kind of good they put that out there.
They should have a day
Yeah.
just for all the people who walk around
That's right.
that never, ever celebrate their partner. You need a day to force them to do it.
Vicky, I haven't talked to you in so long. I can't tell. Are you a lover of Valentine's Day, or is love dead?
Valentine's Day freaking sucks.
Oh, wow.
Whether I'm in a relationship or not. Now, I have to say, this Valentine's Day was saved at the last 25 minutes before midnight. So I did...
Experience
It
some
was
magic.
okay. Yeah, it was okay.
What is that? Are you being Randy right now? Are you being pervert? I can't tell. What do you mean?
No, it was innocent enough.
Oh,
but-
okay.
Yeah, no, it was innocent enough, but
Yeah.
it came in under the wire there, 25
Last
minutes.
25 minutes, it really...
Yeah.
The pound of the hand confused us for a second.
Like, you know, the old...
Over my hands now.
I think Beckett's gonna blow out our speakers.
I'm with you.
I think Diddy's has me turned down.
I'm
Okay.
going to make adjustments as we go.
We are going to make adjustments. There's going to be some bumpy little bumps along the
Oh,
way.
yeah, throughout this whole thing.
Now, if you are new to the podcast, Vicky is our resident psychic medium. Give us a little background just for people who don't know.
I started as a paranormal investigator first in 2007. So around 2013, I discovered that I had ability, and I started doing readings, and I do them to this day. And it's not something I practice at. It just comes naturally. And when it's time for a reading, I turn on. When it's over, I turn everything back off.
We've got some good questions here. A psychic reached out to me a few days ago talking about how she's got the ability to get feelings, emotions, vibrations by just looking at things through a screen. And here's the one question that I had. Can psychics get feelings or vibrations by just looking at someone off a screen, or is that legit fraud?
No, that's how I do most of my readings. If they want to get in touch with somebody, they give me a picture of the person, and I look at the picture. Also, one of my services that I provide for Point Paranormal is that if they are out of state, I have them take pictures of a property, and I do a virtual walkthrough of that property, and I'm just simply looking at the picture and figuring out. I usually tell them what's going on in the house, so they don't tell me what's going on ahead of time, and I tell them who's actually causing the activity. So for me, it's legit.
If somebody had that gift, but they could only get it through the screen, is it possible, like an athlete, could they practice and go to that next level to where they could do it in person and then they could do it,
Yeah.
Is that really a thing?
Well, people with ability, it usually comes in what I like to say like layers. for me, it was one ability at a time. First, I figured out I was an empath and I could feel emotions. Then I could feel energy. Then all of a sudden, people are talking to me. And so for me, each gift had its own time period to develop, and then the next one came in. So I had somebody tell me years ago, if you have ability, if you have a gift, ask for all of them. And that way you have a full range. The more gifts you have and you use, the more you can help people.
When you say ask for
The universe, you just say, thank you for, using me to communicate. I'd like to be able to see you next time, or I'd like to be able to hear you, or whatever you're not doing, say next time I would love if you communicate with me that way.
when you go universe, is that kind of your interchangeable word for God?
In this case, it would be my interchangeable word for spirits, because the spirits are the ones that are helping with the communication and how they're going to communicate. So I'm basically talking like right now, like this room probably has 100 plus spirits.
Wow.
You can feel it?
Well, that's just, there are more spirits in a room than there usually are living people.
Beckett, we're hearing rooms, we're hearing spirits, we're hearing psychic abilities. Thoughts?
I'm drinking one.
This place has spirits for sure.
As she was talking, I was thinking, you guys are musicians and you develop your ear, right? And you can, like, when I did voice lessons for a little bit, she did like a little assessment. She goes, well, here's the good news. You're not tone deaf, so that means I can help you, right? So I think if you have a base layer, as she described it as layers, then there's an opportunity to develop it, right? And your ear, like music, becomes more attuned, right? And
Absolutely.
yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking about.
Sing us a song. Sing us a song.
I want to do karaoke really bad.
Oh,
You've brought it up many times.
I'm in. I really do. I need some karaoke in my life.
we haven't done it in a long time.
I love it. Denny's, you heard Beckett talking earlier before the podcast started. He was showing Vicky, or trying to show Vicky, a picture of somebody. Now, this is what you do. You do look at pictures. Now, what was going on with the picture you were trying to show Vicky? Are we able to get in any of that?
Yeah, so we'll just say on like high level, and on high level, someone I'm excited about, right?
Romantically.
Right. And
right. We sound like Valley Girls right now.
Totally, bird.
I mean, totally, man.
so I'll remind the audience that's been listening for a while, and anyone that's new, I'll tell them this. So it was a while ago, 4 or 5 years ago, I had a situation where I was a little smitten, and I showed Vicky a picture, and I sent it to her. And Vicky and I at this point are close, and I didn't get a phone call, I didn't get a text back on the picture. And she's, if I remember correctly, she's like, it needs to be a picture where I can see her eyes. Because I was in that point of the relationship where I was feeling a little sliding down the slope, and I was a little confused after being on a high. And when I saw Vicky, we were at the radio station at the time. She goes to me, she was like, Ryan, I didn't want to text it or do it over the phone. Like, I wanted to tell you in person. I was like, oh God. And basically what she had to convey is, like, I think if memory serves, like, there's a chemical issue. It wasn't really a great reading that Vicky gave. So at the time, it hadn't really hit me in the face. Sure enough, a month later, everything Vicky said was true. It hit me in the face.
Because you were thinking with your peen probably, and you drove right through them red flags, didn't you?
Oh, I drive through more red flags in China. Like, I was just like, I can fix her. I remember when I showed Vicky a picture of someone I was talking to, and it wasn't a favorable report, but I got my information right away. I wasn't waiting around. Yeah. So,
But you do have to say I was gentle, right?
You were gentle.
Okay.
And you were right.
Tried to ease him into it.
Right.
Yeah.
you never got to be gentle with me. I want you to.
So what's the verdict? I should show her the picture at some point tonight, or wait till the next podcast? What do you?
Look, you're a man of your own world, and Vicky, you seem uncomfortable with doing it.
Well, because I've kind of thrown cold water on his relationship before. I don't know if anything's going to come across that's negative, but he's in the fun stage. He's in the, beginning fun stage, and I don't want to do anything to throw a wet blanket on
Throw
it.
something into his head right now.
Yeah.
Ruin it for Becky. Ruin it for Becky. No, man, I think we got to find out. He's a big boy.
Yeah, that's what they say.
But if it goes like the nice Beckett. That one almost slipped by.
Dennis, I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, well, I couldn't either.
You couldn't hear yourself. All right, another question for Ask Vicky. Can a spirit start off at one age and then turn or jump to a different age? For example, because it was a pretty lengthy email, if I died at my age right now, do I go along to in the spirit world at the age that I died at, or can I jump at my favorite part, or once you're locked in, that's it?
So once you cross over, you have the ability to appear to other people at whatever age. So let's just say you show up and you're visiting your childhood friend. You're going to show up at that age so that they recognize you if it hadn't been years since they saw you.
Unless you want to fuck with them, you show up as a grown-up man. Go, "Ah."
Right. And the only exception is I have been shown that babies or children who die very young, they actually get to grow up on the other side. So they don't age in the same manner that we do. Like, say, instead of 1 year, that's the equivalent of 2 or 3 years or something. It's a little bit different, but they actually are allowed to grow up. And the best part is they are very, very protective of their parent that they left behind. And they're usually one of the spirits that come for their parent when it's time for the parent to go to the other side.
Wow, that's heartwarming.
Yeah.
If that makes me feel more spiritual, right? Because that means someone like the higher power, creator, the universe, the spiritual realm is like, hey, this was a traumatic thing for the parents, and we're going to put this baby, this toddler, in a position where they can communicate. And that's pretty special.
Yeah.
Testify. I love it. I love a spiritual Becky.
Yeah.
And we've got our last question. Can spirits harm one another when they're trying to cross over, or to any level?
There's definitely been cases where, at the very least, they've irritated the heck. If it's an earthbound spirit and it's in a home and they're residing in that home, they have a certain amount of control. I'll tell you a quick story. When we were ready to purchase my house, my daughter said, can I do an EVP session upstairs? We hadn't purchased the house yet. So she got an EVP of 2 men, and one of them said, get out. And at first I'm thinking, I'm not going to get out. I'm going to buy this house. But the other spirit answered, okay. So that one spirit was the bully and the one in charge of whether they were going to show themselves to us. And they're still there, by the way.
Yeah, it's crazy. And now, could they be so fixated on fighting with one another, or staying in that kind of mindset to where they like staying there? They don't want to move on to that next level.
Right. A lot of, if you're earthbound, there's usually some reason why you're earthbound, whether it's just a pure joy level, or you're just being a prick and you don't want to go to the other side. But the longer you stay as an earthbound spirit, the more likely is you're going to stay.
Oh, man.
That's the problem. And there are people, like I have helped people cross over who've been here a while, but it's very difficult if somebody's been hanging around for 30, 40, 50 years. It's really hard to talk them over.
Oh, my gosh. I find out right now that I've been dead since 1975. You've been trying to get me to go.
This whole time.
This whole
This
time.
podcast isn't even real.
None of it's real. None of it's real. Beckett's not real.
It's all a simulation.
Yeah.
It's all a simulation. Man, that'd be fucked up.
Oh, that would wreck your mind.
Well,
Would
great
it
chat.
change the way you lived your life
It
if
would ruin
you had
everything.
full knowledge it was a simulation?
It would ruin everything
oh
for me.
my gosh! If you found out that, it would ruin everything.
It would ruin
You wouldn't be able
everything.
to.
What would you do? Would you change your life?
I think the Matrix kicks you out, right, and then the robots get you.
No, like you have the knowledge now that this is a simulation. Do you have a change of direction? Do you live your life differently, or do you stay the same bird?
I think at the core I stay the same, but I think it's gonna be hard for you not to change when you find something that heavy. If you find out the answers of your existence and it's totally different than what you thought it was.
Oh.
I mean, I would never expect me to be AI or a robot or Matrix, any of that stuff. So if I legit found that out, yes, it would change. it would change something in me. I'm not saying I would go rob banks or anything and become evil, but it'd be a bummer for me.
Wouldn't that make you personally want to try to figure out why? It would change. You wouldn't be able to focus on anything else. You would want to figure out either how to manipulate the system now that you know it's a system.
Well, at the end of the day, we're code. What is DNA? Six
For sure.
6 digits?
For sure.
We're
But
code.
we're organic code.
And now
so
with the CRISPR, we can manipulate our code. Just
Yeah.
like computer code.
I'm with you. There's also kind of some semantics in there too.
Sure.
I get what you're saying, but it's also, I think there might be more that we're just code. But then again, we'll get emails going, no, Beckett's right. We are just code.
yeah, our DNA just infinitely builds over and over again.
So there's way more to it for sure, but with the CRISPR, now you can edit code, right? So if you have 6 digits of code, right? Like computers are binary digits, bits, right? Zeros and ones. So now you can go in and like that Chinese scientist got in trouble because he took those 2 twins and he made them immune to the autoimmune disease, AIDS. And he got in a lot of trouble for it. But he could go in like a computer
change their-
program and literally change their code.
It's like that movie Gattaca or that book Brave New World, where they genetically make humans, and then humans think lesser of organically reproduced humans in the future. They think they're lesser because the genetically enhanced ones, the parents go in when they want a kid and they can put everything they want. They want them to be athletic. They want them to be tall.
Well, I just remember being a little kid watching all of these TV shows and movies, and it was just fodder. It was just talk. Oh, look at that! They can jump from planet to planet and aliens and all this kind of crazy shit. I have a theory. Did we know this for a long time? All this technology was coming, and they were just slowly implementing it into our content just so we don't freak out. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They go, all right, we got to start introducing this slowly to them so when it happens inevitably, they don't lose their minds.
It's just a theory, so there's no rhyme, there's no facts behind it. But maybe they're just throwing little seedlings into all of the content, and they're giving us message to what's about to really. It's all going down, baby. That kind of
and
shit.
they pull the tablecloth.
Yeah, we were trying to warn you.
I mean, that's how you wreck people. That would make people go insane.
Well, just think about an analogy. So we went through genetically modifying things in terms of plants
For
and
sure.
foods, right? And what did we do eventually? We're like, oh, organic. Organic is the way to be. So I feel like we're going to go through the same thing with humans. We're going to be like, oh, yeah, I can make my son a good baseball player, and he's got a strong arm, and this sounds great.
Yes.
And then we're going to realize that as soon as humans try to, like, mess with the code, it doesn't really work out, and then we're going to go back to organic, right?
Oh, yeah.
Back to the way it used to be.
Vicky, do you remember watching stuff as a kid that you go, that's impossible, but it's only kind of come true as we've gotten older? Where you go, this is weird, man. I never expected this to ever happen.
Yeah, I mean, the one that hasn't happened yet is to press the button and my dinner come out of that little
The replicator.
Jetsons,
That's
you know?
one of the few things that hasn't happened yet. But yeah, I always bring up Twilight Zone. It's almost like he had a book or something, Denny's.
Yeah.
He knew.
Black Mirror,
it's thrilling.
I don't get anxiety. Like, I'm laid back like Denny's to a fault. I had to stop watching Black Mirror. It was giving me like panic attacks. It was giving me anxiety.
Do you like Black Mirror, Denny's?
Yeah, so admittingly, I've only seen a fair amount of episodes, maybe like 5 or 6. All of them are cool. I hear they're not really tied to each other, so you can just watch. It's kind of like Twilight Zone.
It's dystopian.
Yeah, which is kind of cool. Dude, every video game I played since the 90s is all dystopian.
I really like this series. The only one I really just did not like was the Miley Cyrus one, and I had such high hopes for it. I don't know if you guys have seen the Miley Cyrus one.
I saw that one.
Did you like it?
I think they tried to like pander because they had a big star in it, but it was interesting. It's not my favorite one.
Get out of my house.
My favorite one is I forgot what it's called, Juniper or whatever, where you had a choice, and it really put your brain to the test. The choice is that depending on what you believe in the afterlife, you can either get uploaded
Yep,
to a server, and you can live a life with your friends and your family and everything, or you can go the old school route, put your faith in a higher power, and go to heaven. So the crux of it was that if you choose to go in the server, you stay here in the afterlife kind of earthbound. If you put your faith in a higher power, whatever you believe in, you go into that, whether it's darkness or
Progress
heaven or
naturally.
whatever it is. And certain family members have different tacks. They're like, I want to I don't really necessarily believe in the afterlife, so I want to go on a server and live forever with my kids and my family and whatever. So it really kind of holds people's feet to the fire, because right now you have no choice.
Well, yeah,
Then you have
got
a
the
choice.
one.
So that really kind of smokes people out, so to speak, on what do you
Oh,
want to
man.
do.
People struggle with choice.
So I want to get your opinion on that, Denny's. What do you pick?
I'd probably pick the natural path.
Why is that?
I'm not trying to disrupt the cycle. A lot of things that you read and stuff, everything cycles. And if you try to stop it or whatever, it usually causes issues in the future.
Are you talking some Back to the Future? Oh, continuum, Marty.
Definitely with time travel. But
I just wanted to talk about Back to the Future.
just the life cycle, you know, if you're changing the natural progression of things, it's going to have backlash somewhere.
I'm with a Sweet Denny's on that. I would go and take a chance on dying and having nothing happen than to stay. To me, that's fake. If you're stuck in the meta, so to speak, and you're kind of just there, you're basically making your own little world, and it's not real.
You're in limbo almost.
What if you could do the best of both worlds and you could do like a year in meta and then you could move on?
Nope, it doesn't work that way, Beckett. It's either all or nothing
Yeah.
here. We don't get no hybrid decisions here.
So people that are either gamers or have ever played a video game, imagine the difference if you have unlimited lives to if you have a defined amount of lives.
Absolutely.
You play the game totally differently.
Oh, you're chaotic. You're reckless.
Do you remember Game Genie?
Oh yeah,
Game Genie was like a game changer, right? And you go Game Genie.
talking code.
Yeah, and you play the game totally differently. You're like, oh, I'm going to jump over that
But
thing. I'm going to die 10 million times. It
You
doesn't
could
really matter.
argue that the journey, the playing of the game, the experiencing the new things as they happen is what you're trying to experience. You know, when you have God mode, eventually you're a vampire. You're bored.
Yeah, that's true.
Denny's is right. When I put it on God mode, if I'm just having a bad week and I want to win at something, I'll put it on God mode, basically on my baseball game, and you just start crushing the ball, and you're hitting the ball out of the park, and then after a while you do get bored. Going,
It's awesome.
it's awesome,
But you lose its
You
luster.
do lose it loses luster.
That's the human nature. So if you cheated all through college, when you get your degree, it doesn't feel as rewarding. If you were on God mode on the baseball game and you you won the World Series, you're like, oh, that's cool. Like, I'm going to go to bed. But if you worked your ass off to get that college degree or to win that World Series, you are stoked.
I still talk
That's the
about-
balance of it.
I still talk about games I beat when I was young because they're so hard.
Yeah.
I think Beckett should go back to the sports analogies. I know you like them.
Yeah, I was enjoying that.
Vicky,
Hit it out of the park.
video game. When you play, what was your favorite video game playing back in the day? Do I know this answer?
No.
Oh,
No, I don't play video games.
You
You,
never-
should know that answer.
None of them.
you never
ever?
played a video game
Ever.
ever?
Maybe then I'm gonna really date myself. Maybe Frogger, I guess.
Oh,
Trying to
yeah,
get that
yeah,
stupid
Frog.
frog across the road.
Yeah,
like for like
Frogger.
2 seconds.
Pole position.
That was it.
You hate video games.
I hate video games.
Okay, let me
I've
ask
I
you
only
hate
this.
board
handful.
games too.
Let me ask you this.
Uh,
What
It's not exclusive. I hate
Like a
board
Ouija
games
board?
too.
we're gonna get to that.
Segue.
We're gonna get to that. What game? I want to see how against games you are. What game is this? Prepare to qualify.
Oh, that's good.
Wow, she hates video games.
That's pole position.
That's pole position.
I mean,
you-
I could probably, if you had done something from, a game that my kids play, maybe. I don't know.
All right,
Grand
You didn't even
Theft
get down
Auto
with
or
like
something.
what the Candy Crush. I mean, she doesn't like video games. She's not gonna
Gosh,
play
you're right.
Do you
Unless
guys
that
know?
was Pac-Man. I don't know.
Do you guys know what Mario and
Pac-Man.
Luigi wears?
What's that, Beckett?
Do you know what Mario and Luigi wears?
What?
Denim, denim, denim.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Wow, Beckett is going to come in here on Thursday on Joke Jury Day, your segment, and he's going to come in here and drop a joke. You're going to take that shit from him?
Mario Luigi jokes too, and I love video
It
games.
was on topic.
It was great.
Well, speaking of your great segue, we're talking Ouija boards now.
talking Mario and Luigi board.
Mario. Denny's!
Love it.
Denim.
Now, Jill from KVJ Nation, she gave me this Ouija board out at an event. And I'm like, okay, I'll take it. And it's caused some problems. I had it in here, and a guy was looking at my dryer, working on my dryer. He saw the Ouija board. He was here for for 3 minutes. He acted like he had to go get a part to fix the dryer. And then he texts my friend who set up the meeting. He's like, yeah, that guy's not coming back. He's scared of Ouija boards. And he said he had to go get a ball. He left because of the Ouija board. First question I want to ask you, Vicky, is just having a Ouija board an issue to the people who don't like Ouija boards? Or do you have to delve into the practicing of it for it to be an issue?
I mean, for some people, just having the board itself would be enough to deter them from coming back in your house.
I'm talking spirit-wise.
Spirit-wise, you have to use that as a tool in order to have something come through it. Now, if someone has used it before and there's something negative connected to it, then you can get it, by proxy. It's going to go ahead and come with the board. The thing is, there's 1 million people that have played with those. There's 1 million people that had no problems with it. Out of the million, 1 or 2 might have some horrific story. And as Beckett has said before, why push it? Like, if there's a chance that something bad is going to happen, why bother? I have, definitely, 2024 is my year to be chill AF and change my life.
Denny's got the bomb.
So I would not use it for communication, but I have no problem being in the room with it. I have no problem touching it. I have no problem anything having to do with that. I just probably wouldn't use it. I would take out a recorder, which some people are going to argue my recorder is the same as that.
Mm-hmm.
And to kind of...
You're right, because it picks up the...
Yeah, because I'm communicating. I'm communicating, actively communicating with something. The difference is that lower vibrational spirits figured out, we can really wreak havoc with this. And so a lot of them will just focus on people who are doing it. And the real problem comes when you create a relationship with that board and whoever is coming through. Because whatever's coming through is some kind of entity that wants to seep into your life and wants to create some kind of control, and they get power from that.
Question. Is it always a sad, bad story when it comes to Ouija board? We can't ever have a good moment with the Ouija?
Get like a ghost clown?
Yeah, someone comes in and they're all cool and they love music and they want to chill and I don't know, they help pick shit up every now and then.
Listen, there's always the chance that that's going to happen. It's just that a lot of times the ones that come through are just pretending to be something that they're not.
It's like going to that skeezy bar. Are you going to find the love of your life? Maybe there's a chance.
Good analogy.
But it's probably not going to happen.
No more J-Mo from back here.
You're right. There's a possibility.
There's a possibility,
but
but the chances are very low.
You're most likely to get a creeper.
Well, people always go, Bird, why do you want to mess with it? It's because I'm trying to, I have a different perspective, and I see what everyone's saying. I'm trying to get as much evidence as possible because I do think there's something like electricity. It's always my example. I feel like spirit or psychic abilities or even, paranormal type of shit. I feel like you can tap into it. Some people just don't know how to tap in. Electricity was always there. We just had to learn how to tap into it.
Right.
And look, what we don't know as a species, we could fill a couple books. So to act like we know we're tapped into everything that this universe has to offer, I think it's kind of ignorant and arrogant.
I agree.
I mean, that's kind of like an electrical cord that has a fray in it. Go ahead, take your chance, plug it into the wall. You may not get electrocuted. There may not be a fire, but you could. There are other ways to open yourself up and to improve your abilities than to use the board.
To the naysayer who thinks this is complete horseshit, they go, Bird, what the hell is Vicky talking about? It's a game from Parker Brothers. It's not real. I've never had an experience. How do we know you guys aren't lying? I get that all the time. Bird, how do we know you're not lying about your ghost experience? Or how do we know you're not drunk? Or how do we know you're not high? What do you say? And
these are the questions we get.
You
a
don't.
lot.
and that's just from my dad. That's just from my
I mean, honestly, in all these years and all the cases that I've done, I've never found, even if someone, because on our questionnaire it asks, have you ever done anything with the occult, Ouija board or whatever? And even if there's a yes there, I personally, in my cases, have not found a direct correlation between the use of the board and what was in those people's houses. However, other people have. But me personally, I've never been able to connect the dots and say 100% that board is what is causing the activity in the house.
So you did a walkthrough, and for anybody who doesn't know what a walkthrough is, basically, if you don't mind, describe what you do, what you feel. When I ask you, hey Vicky, we do a walk through my house. What's that process like?
So I just start walking through different sections of the house, and I just see what I feel. And I get impressions and things like that. It didn't take me far because you have the main rug that you've always had, and then you put that other rug right in front of it when you first walk in.
Is it the pizza rug and the alien rug, or is it the?
It's the one right in front of the aliens when you right here when you first walk in.
Got ya.
As soon as I stepped on that rug, there was like a ton of energy, but it was only from the knee down. And I felt like something was gonna like grab my leg, and that they had like little tiny claws or something on their fingers.
Okay, let's talk about that for a second.
Could it be a ghost cat?
It could be. It's either a dog or it's a demon jaybird. Okay, all right.
No, it could be an elemental. You know,
Something tells me I would attract elemental. I think we've kind of.
Yes,
I think
yes.
we've got. What's an elemental again for the people who don't know?
nature spirit, for a simpler term.
But what does that mean though?
They're not human. They've never been human, and they have a connection to the earth. And cultures for years, a lot of them respected them and worshiped them. They might have called them fairies, gnomes, whatever, and they had a lot of recognition. And what happened is people stopped, giving them their little saucers of milk and stopped saying that they exist, and then they got a little disgruntled. So now some elementals and some nature spirits will like be tricksters and wreak
They're more
havoc.
gremlin-ish.
Well,
Yeah.
I want to get this on record right now. Elementals, if you are listening, I hear you and I see you. And I love your act. Elemental it up in here. Okay, so you felt that when you walked in. As you go further,
The usual place where I get sucked into the vortex, like that kitchen area that goes straight back to your laundry room, I flatlined there. I didn't get anything. But when I crossed over into your living space, I got very, very nauseous. So I don't know. See, that could be connected to a living person or a spirit, or your vortex has moved.
I feel like, to be honest with you, I do feel like there's something going on in that room on the reg. Whatever was going on you talk about the vortex area. I bring up the Ouija board. I'm bringing up the Vlad doll, only because I do feel like this is a different kind of energy that I've ever felt, and I don't like it at all.
That's
actually.
true. I forgot you brought Vlad into the house, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's another possibly haunted relic.
I feel like there's something different.
Right. Now the only air quote spirit that I saw was whatever this little elemental was. I didn't see any human spirits. When I went further into that room and I went to the other side of your table, like in between the table and the sliding glass doors, that's where I got super, super nauseous.
That makes sense a little bit. It feels like there's something always in the corners now.
Yeah.
Squatting down, darting by. I mean, I can't tell if it's my night terrors and I thrash, but there's been several times in, I would say, the last month where I feel like something is holding me down, or I'll wake up and I'll have these really bad, like honestly, as if someone was holding me down, sore marks or sore feelings in my upper arm or chest area.
Right.
What is that? Is that night terrors, or could that be? It really does feel like I'm being constricted of sorts.
Yeah, I mean, it could be sleep paralysis. It could be the night terrors. Now, remember, the last time we had video cameras set up here, we did capture something behind your curtains where your glass doors, and contrary to what the naysayers, as you would say,
Don't read the comment section.
the doors were closed. There was not any, it didn't happen on a consistent basis like the air conditioning. Anyway, something takes your curtain and pulls it back at least twice, that you can see this curtain like it's physically being pushed back by a hand.
Where my elementals at? Becky,
That one was tall.
Becky, you hear tales of night terrors being held down, elementals, thoughts, opinions.
Sounds kinky.
What?
Sounds kinky. Sounds kinky.
Is Beckett's? Is his mic on?
Yeah.
I think you turned me down because of my laugh.
Damn. I'm trying to say.
I got him.
You know
I think
what?
He's at a good level.
Ever since you came in with that joke, I could tell Denny's.
He's
I've been
pissed.
slowly turning
He's
you
pissed.
down.
He's pissed.
Is that why you keep texting me? I haven't even checked my. Oh, okay. All
I was
right.
He's
like-
pissed.
What,
I was like, control your boy over there.
you hear all this stuff.
I'm kidding.
Does it scare you? Does it bring out the bitch boy Beckett or?
So it brings out a little bitch boy, but it also makes me more curious.
Right?
Honestly.
This is
To
why.
know there's such a thing.
Yeah, I do. I want to get stuff in here because I want to get some more footage. I would like to try to get something on camera. Or on the other end, am I just fucking crazy?
Yeah, you're like the Columbus of spirits, right? Like you want.
I don't know. That's a controversial name. I just
Well,
know
you're
everyone
an
fights
you're an
about
explorer. So
Magellan.
we'll just
The
have like
Magellan, there you go. No
an
controversy.
ambiguous.
Oh, I was just kidding. But you can call it. I don't
An
care.
ambiguous name. You're an explorer, right? And
yeah,
you're
thank
gonna
you.
you're gonna take the risks
Oh, all right. There you
Yeah.
go.
because you want to learn for yourself and for the audience and for the people.
Good thing I'm not into prostitution
Why?
because I'm an explorer. I take risks. You don't. No, nothing. Hello.
I'm turning you
He
down.
gets the
slowly.
higher end one. It's not as risky.
No, it's interesting because, at the end of the day, like I can go sell real estate and go about your day, but it's always, I think that's human nature. Not all of us. Some of us are more curious than others, but that's what makes it interesting. Like we're going to explore, we want to know more. Like let's push the boundaries of medicine and spirituality.
That's
and,
part of
like,
the journey.
It's part of the journey. It's
Is the learning new. Humans just crave new experiences constantly. We always do. So when you watch a movie or something and it has a twist you've never seen, you get so excited by it. But things get old to us real quick.
They
too.
do. They get old.
It's what we call the hedonistic curve, right? So the hedonistic curve, you start with a cup of coffee and you're buzzed by caffeine. When you're studying, now you're drinking a pot of coffee and you don't even feel it, right?
Now you're borrowed Adderall.
Right, exactly.
It starts to go crazy. And
Exactly.
Crazy.
And I think as you get older, when you try to make a connection, you had puppy love. People say puppy love, and you're very connective. Your neural pathways are very open. As you get older, you're a little bit more jaded, and you've had these experiences and all that stuff.
I don't think so.
It's a hedonistic curve.
Me either.
Well, they say the same thing about pornography. You can start off and it's just a thing that people do. I've seen people struggle with where they start watching porn and now they got to keep it. The vanilla porn doesn't do it for them anymore, so they jump up
It's got to
to
be more salacious.
It's got to be more salacious. And it really is a thing for somebody who's got an addicting personality. I know a couple that they almost were calling it quits because one of them got a different job. I have permission to talk about this as well. One of them got
It's like, bro, blowing up my game.
so their schedules changed, and the one dude they weren't having sex that really ever, and when they were about to have sex, he had jerked off like 3 different times watching porn, and he realized it was a major problem. His sex drive was down. I just think, to your point, the sweets of the world, the things that bring pleasure can definitely confine you if you're not careful. It's
100%.
pretty much the whole
They
thing.
just lose that
pressure.
excitement.
It sounds like a very weird analogy, but I was thinking junior in high school, I stopped drinking soda. Right? Like I had diet soda every once in a while, but I read something or I had someone tell me that there's so much sugar, you're drinking 100 grams of sugar in that big gulp, whatever.
Yeah, I know.
So when I stopped drinking soda, all of a sudden vegetables tasted good.
All right, get the fuck out of my house.
Right?
Yeah.
No,
Listen to this bird.
because
Listen to this shit.
all of a sudden,
Vegetable propaganda in my own damn home, Denny's.
all of a sudden, carrots tasted sweet.
Oh, fucking.
Kale chips.
This is the same guy that told me kale chips were just as good as potato chips. I'm like,
Not
"No,
just as good, but it kind of
you were blowing kale chips pretty hard.
pretty hard, pretty hard.
No, but my thing with you and your exploration, love it, great. Don't do it in your house. That's where the line, I have been doing this since 2007. I have a lot of protection around me. I don't mess around in my house. My daughter has just started doing tarot card readings. She doesn't do them in the house. She does them on the front porch. It's not in our actual living space until I know that she has her protection in place. So that old expression, you shouldn't, where you eat.
Do I just go to the ghost park?
Well, I don't know. You may know somebody with a paranormal investigation team. I don't know.
Oh,
And
you
you
want
could
me-
always come along with them.
She's also telling you to use protection.
Yes.
I get it. You don't want me to get those gum the ghost bumps.
Ghost crabs would suck.
So I understand what you're saying. I really do. But do you see why I would want to do it at my house? Do you
Oh, yeah,
understand?
you're right in the middle of Disney World here.
I'm
Disney
also-
World, so I understand your urges.
And I'm
Okay,
in
I do.
control as well. I'm able to. I mean, this is my headquarters for. I'm also trying to get content out there to the people. So it's sometimes it's harder to do the. Like I would love to go out on ghost tours. I really would. I think it sounds so fun.
It's not a tour; it's an
I
investigation.
that was so not what I. Jeez, everyone's insulting everybody. I so did not mean to say tour. I apologize.
You should just do it at the studio, and then you don't bring it back to your house.
Oh, they are such pussies. Kevin and Virginia are the biggest pussies when it comes to this
Well,
shit.
that means
Oh my gosh.
That means they kind of believe in it.
I think that
yeah, to an extent, I'd
To an
imagine they
extent,
do.
100%.
they are not explorers.
Well, that's how you call someone out on what their level of belief is, right? Like if maybe they're not like super diehard evangelists about it, but if they don't want you to do it at the studio,
That means
there's
they-
a little level of belief there.
It's true. Otherwise, they would think of
They'd be
nothing
fine.
of
I don't
it.
care.
Yeah, sure.
I don't care.
No, believe me, this Ouija board got me thinking. I'm over here talking to the last question I was going to say is there a way to get rid of a Ouija board the proper way? Because you can get rid of it. Nah, fuck you, Ouija. And then all of a sudden
You have to drive and throw it out your window.
Yeah, I drive and it's back on my living room couch because I did it the wrong way.
Yeah, there's fallacies that you should burn the board, that you should break the board up, you should do this, you should do that. I personally would just wrap the board so nobody knows what's in there, and I would just put it in the trash.
Damn.
I'm not
Stomp
saying
on
you
it.
have to. That's on you. I'm not uncomfortable with it in here.
Well, what happens when I'm feeling something here and you're not getting a vibe? Well, what's all that about?
I'm not infallible.
Is it? Well, no. What I guess what I'm asking is it possible? A, you didn't do a long enough walkthrough. B, they know you're my Tangina. They know Google Tangina. Who's Tangina, Beckett? Oh my god.
Man, that's hilarious.
The
You've
spiritual
been kicked out I don't know how many times tonight.
Oh,
So many
twice
times
in
of
just
that.
the spiritual ghost woman from Poltergeist. And she talk like this.
She was also in Teen Witch as well.
That's right, Denny's.
And 16 Candles.
Okay.
Very small scene in 16 Candles.
I love it. I love when I can talk 80s references with people. Okay, I forget what I asked you, but I felt like it was a very good answer, and I think you did a great job. Okay, with that said, I think it might be time for some
Denny's Random Facts.
Oh, our sweet Denny's, he searches, he hunts for factoids on the internet. He gives us some factoids. Vicky, our educator, she grades him. If she loves his facts, she gives him an A. If she hates it, she's been known to give the F. Denny's, the floor is yours.
All righty. So I kind of teased it on the video promoting the podcast tonight. The earliest case of send nudes documented was in 1828. And you guys might be familiar with the portrait, but it was by 40-year-old artist Sarah Goodrich. She painted a miniature portrait of her own breast, and she took much time on it and made sure that it looked buoyant and the paleness was there. She had a crush on a U.S. senator, so it was in an attempt to get him to marry her. So he met with her and exchanged this with her. Ultimately, he ended up marrying somebody else, unfortunately. But he kept that portrait for 50 years, and eventually it was donated and displayed now currently at the Met.
Becky, be honest. Do you have a bone piece right now?
So I'm gonna show the
Table's a little
photo.
higher.
I'm gonna show a censored version of the photo for the good people on KVJ TV here.
Censored.
Yeah, in case anyone, but I'll show you guys also a censored version of this as well.
Va-va-voom.
Very va-va-voom. The portrait's called Beauty Revealed.
Wow,
it
that's
was
pretty
painted on
real.
ivory.
I know I was going to say.
So she
was
took
an
For a
artist.
painting in the 1800s?
She took much care in this, and she was also famous and renowned for painting miniatures.
Wow, those
That's the breast painting I've ever seen.
those titties are popping.
Oh man, that was good stuff right there. But yeah, 1828 is the first documented case of sending nudes.
Let me ask you this: did you personally censor that picture?
I didn't.
Okay.
I had to search. There's so many non-censored ones. I had to
You
search.
had to look at so many boobs to find that one.
I was like, oh darn.
You had to look at so many painted 1800 titties today.
Oh, so much.
That's a fun project, though.
It's just a funny random fact for you guys. But yeah,
I didn't grade that.
the senator that she was trying to woo was Daniel Webster. You can look him up from back in the
Does
Dizzy.
anything do with Webster's Dictionary?
I don't think he has any affiliation.
Wait, what?
I just wonder if there was any affiliation with Webster's
Webster
Dictionary.
Yeah, go up to the microphone.
Speak right.
I
into
was
it.
I was going away because of my laugh.
No,
Up to talk, back to laugh.
that's what it is.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Vicky, what do you give Mr. Dennings
Well,
on that?
he used the word buoyant, so I'm going to give him a B.
So she described her own portrait as she tried to make it look as buoyant and have a unique paleness to it, which was popular at the
Yeah.
time.
It's kind of a life preserver.
I think that was an A.
It's so funny though, 1828, man. We just so actually here I'll jump
An
to
A cup or a B cup?
Oh, Beckett.
Those are C's.
Well, so here I got another random fact here, kind of pertaining to what we were talking about earlier. I think this is kind of a big topic just in general, and I think everybody's kind of experiencing it these days with AI. It's really been blowing up. They've been making tons of stuff. I'm sure you guys have been seeing them all over your Facebook pages. Well, anyway, the term deep fake, which is a mixture of deep learning and synthetic media, is an algorithm which operates on multiple layers, and it picks the different layers to draw lines, lighting, and it creates a almost realistic image. And there's this company, Home Security Heroes, that did a study from 2019 to 2023, counting the number of deepfakes that were in circulation. And at the end of 2023, they estimated about 100,000 deepfakes in circulation, representing a 550% growth from 2019. For about 3 years, the technology wasn't accessible to normal people. The last 2 years, it's kind of really blown up. So that's almost like a 100% increase each year. Funny enough, they separated it into a pie graph to see what people were using it for, and 98% of it was for pornography.
Oh my god.
Out of all deepfakes you've ever seen, 98%.
We love nakedness.
It was also broken down to celebrities doing ridiculous things, adding cat faces, and politicians were
There
also
you-
the biggest
The
things.
people
But
want what the people want.
98% of all deepfakes out there, of the 100,000 that were in circulation at the end of the year, was made up of pornography or something pornographic.
I mean, the first factoid was about titties. The
I
second
know, I
one
was going to
about
break it up with
porn.
another one, but we were talking AI, so I kind of figured
Well,
So it needs to get
it
laid.
wasn't looking really good at the beginning because I was thinking maybe I'm not smart enough for this fact. And then when you brought out the porn, you saved it.
I brought
so
up.
you rallied for that.
I did the initial stuff just to paint a picture of this technology, this power we possess.
Right.
And in the last 5 years, we've only used it to make porn.
So saved by the porn, B+.
Okay. I love it.
Nice. Here's a non-pornographic. We're gonna bring it back down for the good people here.
Look, you don't have to.
Please do.
So this is kind of cool, and I guess I just never ever thought of it. Deaf people are known to use sign language in their sleep. A case study was done, and people who exhibited rapid eye movement and had severe hearing impairment would often show fluent signs of sign language while sleeping, almost so fluent, in fact, that researchers were able to see what they were dreaming of based on their hand
Wow.
gestures. So when deaf people dream, they sign, and you can interpret those dreams, I guess.
That's super interesting.
Kind of random, I guess. It was just something I never thought about. I go, darn, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's like a fun one.
What, Vicky? I'm sensing a tone.
Well, no porn, so.
I should have saved the porn for the end. I was hyped about the AI.
Always
stuff.
end with the porn. Never start off
end with
with
the
the
porn.
Yeah, you gotta end with the porn.
All right.
Always.
That's what brings the climax.
Nice.
Sorry.
The more we talk about porn, the more.
Oh, Beckett.
Yeah.
Beckett's ready to hump.
This is kind
That
of.
sounds like you are too, Denny.
Well, hey, I'm trying to get you guys going. We got the mood lighting.
You guys sound very horny.
We got the Mike Myers headlamp going on.
Look, don't-
in case anyone was wondering.
Don't get me wrong. I'm horny too.
This is kind of a cool life hack. I could tell you were horny over there. Talking life hacks here. Did you ever try to cut glass in a specific way, or to ever break glass on an edge You know, I was trying to get a bottle and cut it across. Well, there's a life hack for you. You can cut glass with regular scissors if you hold it underwater. It's called the Ribben effect. And I'm gonna play a video for the people right here.
It's also going to be called a bit for tomorrow morning. I want to try to cut some glass underwater, dog.
So I got the video playing for the good people. I'm gonna hold the video up for you guys since we're on different systems here. But if you submerge glass in water, you can cut it. The reason being is that the water fills in between as the glass is being cut with the scissors, and it absorbs a lot of the energy, so it doesn't allow it to shatter. So you can actually just cut like a circle, like in the video, he's cutting a circle out of glass.
Dude, that's really cool.
What kind of scissors are those?
I go, how did I never know this? I tried to use that one thing where you soak rope in, I think it's like oil or something. You put it around a bottle, and then you take it off, and then when you put it in cold water, it's supposed to... it didn't work. It was terrible. But so if you do want to cut glass, this is probably the way to do it.
Okay, you think that will do that tomorrow morning?
Absolutely. I looked it up. It's named after a physicist from the 1800s who discovered it. I don't know why nobody ever talks about it.
Because it's, I don't know. I know why people don't talk about it. I'm just going to leave it alone.
I was waiting for that.
I really had nothing else to... All right, give us one more factoid, Denny's. Give us one more.
This is kind of a cool one, and I'm sure people who travel a lot might know this, but the moon looks upside down in the southern hemisphere compared to the northern hemisphere. So when we look at the moon, you have the man on the moon. But if you're in the southern hemisphere, it actually looks like a rabbit. It's upside down.
Since I was a child, I thought that. It looks like a rabbit to me. Yes. No?
So basically, if you're seeing a photo from the southern hemisphere, it's going to look like a rabbit. If you see a photo from the northern hemisphere, it's going to look like the man on the moon, like a face.
I love it, Denny's.
So in the southern hemisphere,
Rabbit.
northern hemisphere.
Denny, you got me. Obviously, you got me all ginned up over here. There was I know there's some moon news coming up, Beckett. Yeah, I know you came in here dancing, talk about the moon. We won't get to it yet, but
Okay.
we'll talk about it in a second. Vicky, what are your thoughts on that last moon rabbit?
You didn't want to give him one more chance to end strong because that's like a C or a D.
Oh shit!
I thought the moon rabbit was cool.
I love it,
I know
Denny's.
you're a big moon rabbit.
I'm
fan.
a big moon rabbit fan.
I should have did the AI at the end.
Speaking of AI, do you have those pictures real quick?
I do.
So everyone's talking AI these days, and there's that one that I was really interested in. It was where you can text and they generate a picture so quickly. And
That's the one I was talking about, those deep fakes.
yeah, exactly. And artists are, people who can really paint and draw and create. Some of them are worried. Some of them are pissed off because it took me 2 seconds to write. It was basically Billy Joel playing piano to aliens and Bigfoot. And within 5 seconds, it goes. And I'll show you guys on.
Here, I brought them up for you guys. I'm going to play them for the good people, too.
I love it. So Denny's is going to show you guys what it looks like. Now, do we think this is cool? Does AI nail it? Or does this look like shitty art to you? Okay? Yay or nay on the AI?
Which one you want first?
Billy Joel playing for Bigfoot and aliens.
So I got it up for the people. It's
That's
kind of
cool.
Yeah, I mean.
Wow, is that our new album cover?
It looks...
It's rad.
You love it.
I love it.
So
Yes.
you're team AI on that.
Well, it's the best thing we've ever had.
I mean, it's pretty good. It does pretty good detail.
It's sick.
Vicky, what are your thoughts on it?
Looks like it came from a comic book.
So it does look like a comic book, but I bet you could type, depending on what you want.
Make it
in the
look
art
less like a
of-
comic book, and it'll make it less like
Yeah,
a comic book.
make it
That's
look
the
like
amazing
a-
thing about AI.
That is it amazing or is it scary? Or can it
Both.
be both?
It's both.
Vicky, are we
Yeah,
going?
it's both.
Are we going the right way by letting AI take so much control? I mean, when you're able to type something in, boom, 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 and it creates art for you. Some people like a Beckett. I get shit for my opinion all the time. They go, "Dude, you sound like a dinosaur. This is what technology is. This is how the human species evolves to the next level."
Genie's out of the bottle.
It's going to ruin people's lives.
Oh, gosh.
Because we want to believe the negative. So somebody's going to come up with something that's going to be attached to somebody, and next thing you know, they're getting arrested and everything. I mean, it has the potential to ruin people's lives because we automatically want to assume it's real. We're not going to do any fact checking, and we're going to go ahead and
People are
burn
dumb.
somebody at the stake without having real evidence.
I'm going to show you a couple more examples just to see. Maybe that was just one and done. All right, I put eating at Burger King during Armageddon, and this is what it's.
That's what I would do.
This is what it spit up.
No, you wouldn't.
Kind of more in the comic book as well. Some of these aren't comic book.
So, by the way, I am very new to the whole AI world. I've realized you could do the real photos. I didn't know how to do that.
It's fantastic.
Do you just go in there and type in, make this a real photo
So
of...
you could do in the style of whatever. You could pick a famous artist like Picasso.
I saw a video today. They had Leonardo Messi in a picture, like his like sports, like just standing there.
Mm-hmm.
You paint his picture, and you can make him do whatever you want.
Oh wow!
Yeah, to Vicky's
How
point...
hyped is he about that?
Yeah, I mean, are you hyped about that? Yeah, and let's also get him masturbating on top of, you know what I mean?
A soccer ball.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, now he's fucking the soccer ball.
But now people can be as creative as they want.
They can, but it's like anything though.
Yeah.
Humans are always real cool about, getting power. Vicky, go on.
I mean, I could see, like, I don't want to give anybody any ideas, but I work at a middle school now. I could see if you have a kid that has this ability, next thing you know, the teacher's being arrested and fired from their position because they've done something so realistic that they think it's real.
So when I read the deepfake, that AI deepfake study to get those stats, one of the problems they were having was that kids in school were deepfaking students they were students with and then leaking photos of it.
It's insane.
Dude, how do you control that?
Well,
What do you do in that
for,
case?
it's the physics rule I always cite. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. It also gives someone a defense in the sense that that's not me. That's a deepfake.
If you don't mind, sweet Dennis, could you just keep putting up those?
I'll cycle through.
Yeah, cycle through. I just want to I want to get you guys' opinion as we're talking about AI. These are the ones that we were creating, and this is just shitty 3-second, no thought, no. That there's Taylor Swift
I love her.
dating a
I
unicorn.
think I've become a Swiftie.
All right, we're not nothing against Taylor Swift, but we're not.
Can I get a new seat?
Yes.
Can I move my seat?
You absolutely. And then you've got Bill Cosby getting eaten by a sea monster. Again, these are all in the cartoon effect. But do you guys think that artwork is good? If that was
Fantastic.
okay, wow.
I mean, the Taylor Swift one looks real.
Yeah,
It
that one
looks
looked real.
fantastic.
Yeah, I just said Taylor Swift dating a unicorn. That's what it produced.
Travis Kelce.
No, just her, her riding a unicorn. Yeah. So we're definitely times they are a changing, my friends.
Well, you
Yes.
think about I know it's totally apples and oranges, but we gave a music analogy earlier. The music industry early on, some of my friends in music were pissed off about auto-tune.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of my friends in music were like, now the people that write the music can perform it, right? And a lot of people thought it was going to change it and it was going to push good singers out because auto-tune was there. But the universe always kind of has a balance. And maybe I'm being Pollyanna, but I don't know. I feel like AI, people got to know how to handle it. And I think that when it first comes out, people overshoot it.
Oh, absolutely.
No, I think people handle it great. This is something different to me.
No, you're right.
People always try to compare it to when the television first came out or the radio. This is so different than the television and the radio. I mean, television and radio is pretty much one way, unless you called in or you wrote somebody a letter. This is so interactive and so your thoughts now can be manifested in literally
Anything you
in
want.
5 fucking seconds.
Crazy.
I don't know, man. I see what you're saying. I don't want to be a dinosaur. I don't want to be somebody that gets older and shits on everything. I really don't. But I also don't want to be a person that fakes the funk and acts like there's not potential great problems
100%.
for the species on this.
Well, I always try to listen to people that are way smarter than me. And, you listen to someone like Elon Musk. He's been ringing alarm bells for a long time. And he's like, Pandora's box already been open. And he's been begging legislatures. He's like, you guys need to regulate this. You guys need to figure out a way. Like, this is going to be something. Like, listen to people that are in it that know way more than you about it, Because just like social media, it's caused suicides and it's also caused fundraising for amazing charities, right? And it's caused people to connect. There's always a downside and there's always an upside.
It's like a weapon.
Yeah, exactly.
Can be used either way. It can be used defensively or offensively.
100%.
No, I absolutely. I think there's some good stuff with that.
Yeah.
But you know, we're kind of everybody at this table right here with all of our age group. We kind of are growing up in a unique time because
It's the best time
because
to be alive.
the kids growing up with all the technology, it's going to be regular for them. We literally saw things change right before our eyes in such a great, quick way.
Yeah.
Quicker and faster than you could argue at any time period, at least.
Keeps accelerating. It's like when you fold a piece of paper.
Yes.
1-fold, 2-fold, 3-fold, 4-fold. It keeps accelerating.
We heard about robots and all this shit. Now we're talking AI creating stuff, and aliens are in the sky, and kids dressing up like cats, Vicky.
It really just confuses everyone.
Yeah.
It's going
Look,
to cause mass confusion.
it's going to cause some mass confusion. I do want to say before we end the podcast, I want to thank Jill, or KVJ Nation, or who did give me the Ouija board. She did bring it. I see her in the chat room. I don't want you to think we're hating on you. We
It's brought
you, Jill.
it's changed your life.
no, it brings great content. But look, it's a fucking Ouija board. It gets people talking, which I love. But thank you for the Ouija board. I do love it. The one thing I love doing is the local music, the songwriter stuff. I think that is awesome. We're not going to do it tonight because and hopefully she's listening. Right before we stopped doing the weird and whatever, a woman reached out to me, and her husband was dying of I don't want to get the disease wrong, but I think it was cancer, and she wanted her. He was a songwriter. He had a song, and he passed away, and she wanted me to play it for her and her daughter, and I would love to play it. Unfortunately, I cannot find that anywhere. If you are out there and you remember reaching out to me, I can't find it in my email. I can't find it in any of my messages. It's really been heavy on my mind. I would really want to play it for you. So if anyone knows who I'm talking about, please get her that message. Let me know who she is and where she's at, and maybe you can help me find it, Danny. But I can't find it anywhere.
I'll look through there. We'll look for keywords.
But yeah, please, if you are a local songwriter, send me your stuff. Jason KVJ on my Instagram. That's the best way usually to reach me.
Would you want me to? I could play. I mean, I have my laptop. I could play anything you want. If you want me to play a song we've done or something.
Yeah, we don't have to play anything that we've done. We can.
I like your guys' songs. What's the one song that I like? Do you guys record that one?
I think that's the one we were working on. Yeah. It was Becky was hanging out one night after the show.
I almost got married. Did I tell you that?
No.
You never knew that?
You don't know that?
Did you know I almost got married, Vicky?
What?
How did
we not hear this story?
I was a week, because I've told this story before, and I told it so many times back in the day, but some people might not know. I was about to I'm talking a week away from getting married, and she was from Colombia, and she really didn't speak great English, but we spoke the language of love. But she was learning English at the time, so it was a great. It was a roadblock of trying to get to know each other. I know where you're going, Vicky. I know where you're
We
going.
could have been on 90 Day Fiance, and you blew it.
Well, here's what had happened. The guy she worked. It was when I worked at the golf course. She worked with another guy who was very fluent in her native tongue and very fluent in English. And he would go back. He found out that we were dating and starting to talk, and that we were, about to tie the knot, and we were obviously growing in a relationship. And he kept on working on her, saying, "American men, they are cheaters. Jason is lying to you. He's cheating on you. I mean, he fucking sandbagged me. I knew none of this was going on. Knew none of this was going on until because he basically worked it into being her best friend, in my opinion. So he was there to really the shoulder to cry at, but he was lying, just making up all kind of shit.
That's horrible.
How long ago was that?
This was, it's funny you say that because Becca wants a song. This is a song that we did. It's called Green Card.
It's hard to beat that native tongue.
Yeah. It's one of them lines in it.
It is one of the.
Strong for you.
All right, guys, thank you for listening. This is the song about me getting almost married.
Started dating in 2003. I got drunk and then I asked her to marry me. Now we're talking matrimony, and she is barely my girlfriend. Barely my girlfriend. 10 drinks later into the night, and I guess I'm She only loved me cause she had no good a green card. Medicated to block the fear. Before you know it, the circus of a wedding will be here. One thing is certain and one thing is clear. Well, she's barely my girlfriend. Barely my girlfriend. It isn't easy nor is it fun when your fiance doesn't speak their native tongue. Oh, sweet Lord, what have I done? Well, she is barely my girlfriend. Barely my girlfriend. Lack of communication made the whole thing hard. She only loved me cause she had no good a green card. I can't understand a word she said, and I'm not gonna lie, no I'm not gonna lie, it's really messing with my head. She can't understand a word I